Fantastic. Thank you, Randy. And as I said, today we're going to cover the cybersecurity post COVID-19. And amongst other companies, I actually advise consult Cybersecurity, which is a cybersecurity company, which also contributed some content for today's presentation purpose. So thank you, Cybersecurity, and I would like to move forward with that. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is why we all need to care. Some of us are technology have the technology background. Some of us don't. I myself don't necessarily have the technology background. As I have said during my introduction, I come from a traditional finance, and I was a front office investment banker doing a derivatives trading and an M&A and things like that. So a person like me, why would I care about cybersecurity? Because it's important, and we all actually play a very important key to make sure that we are digitally safe in this era, especially in this era. The corporate governance that is that needs to be in place, whether you're working for a small company or a large company. I'm going to cover that aspect. The cybersecurity latest from the stats and the sort of overall picture, and what COVID-19 did to our work and lives, because they are quickly becoming one and the same, right? And also what we should do and can do. Those are the topics that we're going to cover today. So why do we need to care about cybersecurity? There are a number of surveys out there has been taken, and this is the kind of statistics that you see today. 62% of CEOs have management initiatives to make their business more digital. More digital comes with more cybersecurity risks, right? 67% of leaders believe that business must become more digital to be competitive. So whether or not the initiative is already on the way, we all think that it needs to become more digital. So the number discrepancy shows that some companies may not have taken the initiative yet, but it's on the way. 66% of CEOs expect their companies to change their business model in the next 3 years. And this means that, again, even if the initiative is not taken just yet, or it's just on the way, it's going to continue changing, and then more digitalization is going to happen. 87% of senior business leaders say that digitalization is now a priority. It's not something that is nice to have, we can have, we should have, but that should be a priority of the company. So, which really means this is really going to continue affecting, I guess I should say, our business. Information digitization means technology, right? And technology vulnerabilities provide an opportunity for those who prey on this information. Information is an expensive asset now. We have to protect it with all that we've got. And whoever can get hands on the data information, actually it means business for them. So this has become a critical vulnerability and a critical point that we need to save. So I talked about a little bit about the governance, and this is how we all get involved. So the senior executive level should focus on organizational risk and make sure that it makes the top strategy of the company. How do we go about this to make sure that we are safe? And the business process level managers, people, those are the people who kind of break down the high level priorities and then make it into a more digestible executable strategies, right? And then the implementations at the operational level, this is where everybody gets involved. I do have the data room, but who builds the data room? Who designs the data room? Who makes sure that the data room is running every day? Those are all different people that get involved in order to make sure that the cycle, right? The circle of cybersecurity works. And because I think that there are a lot of project managers and people in that sort of function are here listening today, I'd like to ask you this. Who do you think manages this whole process so that it makes sure that it runs smoothly and nothing falls through a crack, right? It's the project managers. We do. We make sure that everything runs smoothly. So you're very much in this. So with that, we need to keep in mind the acronym CIA. And it's not that information agency, the intelligence agency, but I mean, I guess we can say that it's somewhat related to that because it's all about our information and data that we are working on. So trained executives and board, where do we start? If you can't remember, or if it's something is hard to digest today, just remember CIA. What are we trying to protect? What are we trying to do? C stands for confidentiality. We need to make sure that all the information, data, technologies that we need to protect, we will protect from being touched by the unauthorized exposure, right? And I stands for integrity. Make sure that all of the data, all of the information that we have is accurate. Because collecting data, dealing with data is one thing, but dealing with the accurate data is quite another matter. So whenever we start throwing in the information into that database there, or disseminating information to the people who need to know, we need to always make sure that the data is accurate. You have a base, you can back it up, you can defend it, right? Because otherwise, what kind of business do you run without that kind of accurate information? And availability. When I say availability, it's more like a lack of availability, because you need to think who should be accessing this, right? And it's like need to know basis. The company data, any kind of data, information, technologies, it should be available based on the needs. Who needs to know this? Who needs to be able to handle it, right? So that's what the CIA stands for. And if any one of them is not there, then we need to really think about it. So how do we actually control that? Confidentiality is really access controls. You need to have a good permissioning process in place, and where the information might get exposed to a lot of people, but it might go back and forth between. Then encryption. I mean, especially if you're working in the healthcare, financial services, I mean, encryption is now mandatory in a certain area. So those are some things that we need to be really thinking about. Integrity. I mean, we need to make sure that whenever the information is dealt with, we really need to make sure that the right people can access it, log it, and you have to make people who put things in there accountable. So make sure that you know who touched what by having the digital signatures and hashes. Those are all important aspects of what you need to be thinking about when you're building it. And availability, I mean, do we have, how are we controlling it? Do we have the access controls, as well as, I mean, if something happens in the center, do we have a backup? Do we have a redundancy? Do we have a disaster recovery plan? Do we have all these things in place? Those are the things that we need to be thinking about.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.